in your report, there's quite a pie chart that shows that the vast majority of groups that were investigated did not fall into the so-called conservative category. Am I reading the chart correctly?
Because they were not by the title of the organization readily identifiable. Congresswoman.
All right. Now let me say this. In 2010, there was a Supreme Court ruling, Citizens United, that allowed unlimited amounts of money, as you well know, to be assembled for political campaigns, many times by secret donors that don't have to disclose under Section 501c4. I'm wondering, an organization that incorporates has many options if they want to engage in civic life, and then if they move into donations to campaigns, they could have incorporated as a 527. We've had many groups that do that, but you were looking at 501c4s. Am I correct? This is the Cincinnati office apparently was looking at 501. Why might an organization choose to incorporate under 501c4 rather than 527 if they're political? If their intent is political?
I have no idea.
Well, it's interesting because they don't have to disclose donors. And so it's very interesting to me that if one looks, and I'm going to ask you for the record of the organizations that you were looking at there, after the Citizens United ruling, how much did your applications increase in the 501c4 category, did you say? I think Congresswoman Lowy, Ranking Member Lowy.
I have that information. In 2010, the number of C4 applications was 1,735. In 2012, it was 3,357.
Yes. It's very interesting trends here, and there isn't a person up here that doesn't understand what's going on politically in this country, and the hidden nature of what is affecting campaigns today that is very unlike what many of us faced when we first were engaged in political life. Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to elaborate. Of the groups, the 298 that were put into that political category that were singled out for specialized treatment, not all were C4s. Some were 501c3s also. So they were singled out for treatment, which may or may not have been justified if handled.
What percentage would you guess were 501c4s? 78?
Well, 89 of 298 were 501c3s.
So the majority were 501c4s?
Yes.
Were any 527s?
Not to my knowledge.
Very interesting. How many, of that group that you specifically investigated, what number approximately fell into the Tea Party, 9/11, however that is described, that so-called super conservative group?
Yes. One moment, please. There were 72 Tea Party groups, or there were 13 groups that were identified under the Patriot category, and there were 11 that were identified under the 9/12 category.
Thank you for providing that to the record. Why the Cincinnati office? That happens to be in my home state. I mean, was this a specific assignment of that office?
The Cincinnati office is where the determinations unit is housed, and they have the responsibility to do the 501c review process for incoming applications.
For the whole country?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Although in this instance, there were a few IRS employees located outside of Cincinnati who also engaged.
That's correct. As a general matter, most of the work happens in Cincinnati in this unit.
All right. I'm going to ask Mr. Chairman, as these gentlemen provide information for the record, I'm very interested in knowing if the definition of political in 501c3, C4, or 527 is inadequate, and if there is some rubber language in there that allowed for perhaps some miscalculation. I don't know, but I'm looking at the changes in the law and what's happened to us as a country, and the fact that you've had so many more applications in that category is at a time when our economy is not doing that well. So I'm interested in which of those groups that are applying would have a political nature. Of that, you said 3,357, the additional ones.
They'll get you that information. So
thank you very much,
Mr.
Chairman.